People are currently very upset that Diddy only got sentenced to 4 years in prison.
What a crock of fucking shit. So you're telling me that people like the Chrisleys were sentenced to 12 years for quote-unquote financial crimes that they did not commit, by the way.
Diddy Judge must be a G-Unit fan, because he just gave him 50 months. Huh? Diddy Judge must be a G-Unit fan, because he just gave him 50 months.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Diddy just got sentenced to 50 months in prison, but he also finally admitted that he's a sick, sick man. Who needs help? Now, why was that important for me to mention? Because this was one of those cases where people were beginning to split into sides where they wouldn't like you having any type of nuanced take. It was either Diddy was an amazing figure who was amazing for the black community and people were after him, or he was just a monster. In fact, I remember when I said Diddy's a sick man, there were people who were like, Chishi, can you explain that, please? And I was sitting there going, well, was the DV video not enough? I mean, I get that those women, a lot of them were just chasing a bag. But obviously, when it came to the RICO charge and trafficking, I thought all that was just nonsense. And then you find out that he still was paying the rent for one of the chicks who was actually accusing him. Crazy stuff. Let's get into it.
Diddy has officially been sentenced to 50 months in prison, which is 4 years and 2 months. But prior to his sentencing, he did address the judge, and this is everything he had to say. He told the judge he did not take the Mann Act convictions lightly and that he takes full accountability and responsibility. He asked for mercy, a second chance, and promised he won't re-offend and will comply with any conditions. Also framed the punishment as a warning to himself, saying that being separated from his family is his deterrent, pointed to his children's statements as evidence he can change. Apologized broadly to Cassie, to Jane Doe, to all victims of domestic, to his community, to his children, and to his mother. Described his conduct as disgusting, shameful, sick, and says that he was sick from drugs and out of control, but added that none of it is an excuse for his actions, said he knew better and had no one to blame but himself.
Now, people could say he doesn't regret anything he did. He's just trying to say whatever he can to save himself. Could he not regret anything? Well, only God knows at that point.
That he had been humbled and broken, lost businesses, career, his self-respect, wants a chance to be a father, a son, a community leader again, and to get help and become a better person. And he finished, he thanked the judge for letting him speak, and then the judge had a lot to say. The judge did acknowledge his work history, his entrepreneurship, the fact that he had such a big impact on the black community, that he was celebrated, he was iconic, and said it was especially impressive that he did all of this after the fact that he was traumatized by his father's early violent death. And he then said, good work does not erase what he did. He rejected the defense's portrayal of freak-offs being just rock and roll and consensual, and said that Diddy abused women physically, emotionally, psychologically to exert power and control.
See, that's the part that I'm a bit confused about, because the jury disagreed with that. No matter what you think, no matter your opinion, the jury didn't agree with that. So the judge making this statement to me is interesting. What do you guys think?
He said the abuse was documented in text messages, emails, images of injuries and broken doors, and in the 2016 video of Diddy assaulting Cassie, called it subjugation, and then left Cassie and Jane with thoughts. He then
For the DV, yes.
said the court was not assured that Diddy wouldn't reoffend upon release and that a substantial sentence must be given to signal real accountability to abusers and victims.
This channel is sponsored by FathersHaveRights.com. So one of the experts in our prenup guide has over 20 years experience in divorce law. He says most people enter marriages with their eyes wide shut. Everyone is focused on the ring, proposal, makeup, venues, but no one thinks about things like alimony, property division, or custody. Are you a future husband who hasn't thought seriously about any of these things? If so, you need to understand that marriage is a legal contract with serious terms. Signing it without a prenup is like signing a blank 10-page contract. But the good news is it's not too late. Act now by clicking the link pinned to the top of the comment section and join the hundreds of men protecting their future marriages the right way.
The government did request 11 years, and he said that a sentence more than 11 years is not reasonable, and noted that substances may have worsened Diddy's erratic and violent behavior, but the court must consider all of his history. And finally, the judge said that he found his conduct to be serious, saying that he irreparably harmed 2 women with behavior occurring over a decade and at a high frequency, and enabled by his power and resources and the fact that he wasn't caught earlier. The judge also imposed the maximum fine that he could on Diddy, which is $500,000. The judge then turned his direction to the victim, saying to Miss Ventura, Jane, and other victims who came forward, I can only say your families are proud of you, and your children, when they're old enough, will be proud of you, and I am proud of you for telling the world what really happened. The judge then tells Diddy he knows he and his family are in a dark place right now, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, the only problem is you want to paint those women as trafficking victims is what it sounds like from the judge's perspective. And yes, I agree. If you followed this case, you saw that these women would go back to Diddy, go back to those men they were dealing with. And then you had the men come out themselves who were at the freak-offs, who were exposing their willing participation and excitement. I'm just saying maybe they're not as innocent as the media would like to portray.
He says to Diddy, these letters, all those letters that I saw, show that you have a universe of people who love you. Let them lift you up now, just like you've lifted them up for so many years. And just like that, sentencing has ended and his trial is officially over.
And on top of everything else, this man got 50 months. 4 years and 2 months. That is shorter than my car loan payment was. Do you understand that? There are watches, custom watches, that take longer to be made. There are purses and waiting lists that take longer than 50 months. They had things on audio. They had things on video. They had testimony and pictures. And this is another thing. This is why I do not believe that this country cares about women at all. 50 months on top of everything else that he did. 50 months. And I couldn't even put his picture up. I had to put this cartoon of him fake crying with this gray hair. This is absolutely ridiculous. 50 months? It took me longer to pay off my Acura? What is happening right now? 50 months? My God, today. At least baby oil sales will be down while he's in there. I can't do this. This is ridiculous.
Man, they just gave Diddy a 4-piece and a side out here, man. 4-piece and 4 years in prison. 50 months, to be exact. 50 months. Y'all think that's fair? Y'all think that, I mean, in my honest opinion, I think they should release them damn Epstein files. They should release them Epstein, since we going after men abusing power. Can we get them Epstein files, please?
Check out a few of these comments, what the people have to say. Top comment, he says 4 years is crazy with all the evidence. Somebody else here, out of 4 years is a slap in the face of his victims. Another person who says, I read somewhere else that he had a speaking engagement set up for next week. He hasn't learned a thing and he should have been given more time. I did see that.
4 years and 1 month. That is what Diddy was just sentenced with. What a crock of fucking shit. So you're telling me that people like the Chrisleys were sentenced to 12 years for quote-unquote financial crimes that they did not commit, by the way, and Diddy is only serving 4 years and 1 month, and well, now he only has to serve 3 years because he's already been in there for, 1 year and 1 month? The way that I am like speechless and stuttering right now, because the crimes that he committed, the judge even said, the crimes that you committed are not inexcusable. You have apologized after the video came out. You apologized after the settlement with Cassie. You apologized after this whole issue with Jane. And yet you still, right before you were arrested, were having a freak off. So the mere fact that this judge only found it reasonable to give him 4 years and 1 month is absolutely sick to me. This is just absolutely disgusting. It goes to show what happens with fame and money. And now we are waiting on Diddy's team to say where do they want him to serve out his time. To which they said they will get back to the court on Monday. So there you have it, guys. 50 months, 4 years and 1 month in federal prison for Diddy.
Diddy judge must be a G-Unit fan because he just gave him 50 months. Diddy judge must be a G-Unit fan because he just gave him 50 months. Now listen, we know Diddy got 13 months in. So the judge said 50 months, that's about 4 years, okay? 4 years, that's not bad, okay? 4 years is some change. He got 13 months in. I say in about a year and a half, 2 years with programming, he'll goddamn, you know what I'm saying, be on his way to a halfway house. Now, as far as what you have scheduled next week, Diddy, put that on the back burner, brother. You got to go back into chain gang. Huh? Now listen, this is way less than what prosecution asks. And honestly, I mean, coming home today was his best outcome. 4 years, bro, that's not bad. You got 13 months in. Hey, listen, lock in a car and goddamn ride it out, Diddy. Huh? You know what I mean. If you've been to jail, you know exactly what I mean. Diddy got to do some time, okay? Not as bad as what they was trying to push for, but hey, listen. At least now he get to go downstate. It's federal time, so it's going to be a little bit easier than state time because you get around people who probably in there because they've been getting a little bit of money on. It's a little bit more civilized. Prayers go out to him and his family. Diddy, listen. Do it on your head, baby boy. All right? This concludes the Diddy-thon, okay? I'm just the messenger.
So Diddy just officially got sentenced to 4 years after all of his kids, including the 2 twin girls and his older daughter, they all went on the stand begging, saying they need their father and to give their father another chance. And what I think is just kind of crazy is the older daughter, not the twins, the daughter that's right before the twins, she got on the stand and she started by saying she lost her mother at a very young age and she needs her father. What do you think happened to your mother, boo? You fighting for the man that took your mother. Let's not forget. Like, these are not conspiracies. Like, how all his baby mamas gone except for one. I just think that's really twisted. I really think this is all just so twisted. Like, not even forget everything else. Like literally they are forgetting, like, everything with Cassie, like, all that only amounts to 4 years. And what I think is so twisted is how, like, I really thought, like, maybe his daughters didn't fuck with him, but they do. They acting like they love him. And girl, he's the enemy. The call is coming from inside. Y'all talking about y'all lost your mothers at a young age because of him. But go ahead and keep begging for him to get out of jail.
The strangest courtroom scene, as Nicole Westmoreland, one of Diddy's defense attorneys, is crying in court.
Oh, that's wild.
She is pulling out all the stops, painting this glowing picture of this amazing 55-year-old businessman who has done so much good. So much good. He has very positively touched more lives than the courtroom could ever hear. Yes, that's a direct quote. He's helped and taught others throughout his career in the music industry. And yes, she's crying. Crocodile tears as she speaks of his career and how he made a positive impact on the Black community with his music-centric cable and media company, Revolt, that focused on Black culture, focused on social justice, and it gave Black journalists the opportunity to have a voice on multiple networks as she fights through tears.
I don't think I've ever heard or seen an attorney who is who's crying. Right? Is that what you get when you're able to afford $1 million attorneys? That is insane.
This was one of Mr. Combs' missions, to show his community that they are important, that the issues affecting the Black community are important. Did it reach you? Did it reach you? I don't know if Miss Westmoreland is an attorney or a B-list actress, but girl, we're not believing a word you're saying.
I mean, if I was to give this attorney the benefit of the doubt, the way I would believe those tears are sincere is if this attorney has known Diddy for a very long time, is unusually close with him and his family. And I don't know that. I'm not that much involved.
All Diddy getting is a few years. The trial finally over. Obviously, this didn't go in the favor how many people thought it would go. But, hey, I don't know what to tell you. People are already saying that that's good. They finna be celebrating that he gonna be home soon. It just, hey, you feel me? This is basically Diddy beat the feds. I don't know. Hey, listen, Diddy beat the feds. Whether you like it or not, he did it. Because to only get 50 months slash, like, what 1 year has already served, so about 3 years, maybe somewhere around there. He only getting a few years, bro. So basically nothing. He gonna sit his butt down, he gonna be out, and, you know, maybe he'll stay out of trouble, but, you know, people usually never learn from their mistakes on the first time. He might be back in that mug. I don't know, but I'm just saying, listen, he didn't get nothing. He didn't get nothing.
This was the most important day of this case, and Combs did give a statement about 12 minutes long where he spoke directly to the court. He talked about being personally responsible and apologized for what happened with his ex-girlfriend's Cassie Ventura. Quote, "I hate myself right now. I was stripped to nothing, and when it comes to that video of him beating Cassie, he said, I was sick on drugs. I was out of control. I needed help. I make no excuses. I knew better." But the judge had some very sharp words in response to Combs. He acknowledged that he is trying to do better and told him that he hopes that he continues that, but instantly went into rejecting attempts to characterize what happened as, quote, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. He said, "You abused your power and control you had over women you claimed you had loved. You abused them emotionally and physically." He said, "The evidence was massive. I was sitting right here," he said. "We read it and we saw it. Images of gashes and bruises and broken doors, and I saw it in the video. It was savage." This is according to the judge. This is some of the comments that he made just moments ago in court. Alice Gaynor from WCBS is in the courtroom right now and sending out notes just to give us a sense of what Combs' demeanor is like right now. What is his family reacting to? I also want to note something that the judge mentioned in reference to Jane. She went by the pseudonym Jane, but this was also an ex-girlfriend. He said he referred to the brutal assault of Jane by saying, "You kicked down 5 doors in her home, lifted her off the floor by her neck, punched her, kicked her, dragged her by her hair, slapped her so hard she fell down." Jane, quote, her credibility testified to those things, that she was a credible witness. So some sharp words again from the judge who just handed down that sentence, 50 months in prison. There will be time served, we believe, in consideration of that. So considering that, it might actually be 4 years. I'm just looking at a note, sentence is 50 months of incarceration. Agnifilo, which is the lead attorney for Combs, asking for more time to list facility recommendations. Also supervised release, 5 years. No reaction from Combs. He is still sitting, and there's a $500,000 fine. You can see behind me a little bit the crowd that has been gathered here pretty much all day as the family have been in and out of that courtroom. When I asked a couple of the defense attorneys how they were feeling today, they didn't have a comment. This day was very serious. They knew that going in. Not long ago in July, when it was that split verdict, they said this was a win for Combs. But the second part of that, the most important part of that, is the sentencing happening today. Again, the judge sentencing him to 50 months behind bars.
But let's check a few of these comments. Top comment, he says she is probably scared for her life. Another person who says free Diddy. Somebody else who says she's working for her last million. Here's somebody else who says she should win an Emmy. Listen, of course, guys, curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Always welcome.